Hello everybody, welcome back to another tutorial on our starship. So, where we left off last time is we had this completely built, the ship part of the vehicle. Now, wherever it is on your map, you're going to want to move it completely to the side, as far as you can to this side specifically. Once done, then you're going to completely move this to that side. There you go. So pull it all the way to the front, and if you're looking at it from this direction, you're going to move it all the way to the left. Now, I will not be building the booster on the same map as this, but when you build the booster, make sure you're building it in this building area. Make sure you're building it in here. I can't build in here because I don't have enough room for 2 boosters. But you have enough room for 1. So you're going to build your booster in this area, wherever it fits. Just make sure it fits. And then I'll tell you where to put it. So, yeah, let's go on to that. So here is how to build the booster. So if you're wondering how the booster looks, we're also going to be building a hot stage ring with it. As most of the time when you see the booster, it has the hot stage ring with it, so. There you go. There you go. That is what the booster will turn out like. A few things with the booster. It has quite a few engines. It has a nice little trail on the end of it, if you want to add that trail. It's a little bit of work, so it's okay if you don't add the trail, I get that. But it has a little smoke effect too. Yet again, the hot stage ring does fall. The grid fins move. And this is the part of the rocket where it would get caught mid-air by the chopsticks. So, here, I'll show you what that would look like. So, for me, what that would look like is I would throttle almost completely down. Come down to the earth a little slow. And this is when I would start increasing throttle and starting to close the arms a little bit. And this is when I would fill up on that throttle pretty high up. And this is when I would drop in between the arms would close, and then I would get caught right there. And then I would cut off throttle, and then it would be caught. But right now I can't actually catch it. So that's what you guys will be able to do in the future, right after I make it. So number 1, we gotta make it. So step 1 is you are actually gonna grab a beam by 7, because we are actually gonna start it building off the ground a little higher. Because the real build will be a little higher off the ground. So 3. So go up 1 7 beam and then place 3 normal blocks. And then that's where you're going to start your build. So that's where you're going to place the first engine. And this is going to be a normal engine. Not a super rocket engine. Normal rocket engine. And you're going to use, I use right shift and control, instead of using left shift and control like I did the other times. You can delete the supporting blocks if you feel like it. Continuing to build. So, you're pretty much just going to create kind of like a circle. If you know, like a circle of engines. So you'll do that, and then you'll do the same thing again, like that. And then you'll add 2 more off of it. So you'll just kind of do that, but make sure all the settings are the same. So make sure all the settings stay the same. So this is what we're going to do to start. This will not be your final product, but just make the ring of engines. There you go. And then delete all the blocks so you just have the outline. There you go. And the engines are the hardest part of this build, I will be honest. The rest of it is pretty much just tall cylinders. So once you got all those engines, you're going to place a few more. I know, there's a lot of engines in this build. And I also added the wrong settings. Sorry, guys. So actually, you're going to use up and down for these. No, not up and down. Plus and minus, or equals and minus. Whatever you like. These ones are for looks, which is the reason we're going to be using different settings for these. Because these are for looks, and you're going to need them to have different settings than the main actual engines. So, you're just going to want to, yeah, put different settings on it. So, here we go. Boom, boom. And then you're going to go in, and then place some like that. And then delete these. So create kind of like a little square or a diamond shape of engines. So right now we're just getting the base shape out. And that's pretty much all we're going to do for that. Now we got to go in. So this is where we're going to make the actual outline of the rocket. So number one, this is weird. I don't know why I designed it like this. Okay, so I didn't use what I thought I did. Okay. Wait, how would that connect? I don't know. We'll see. So, in the meantime, we're going to create the outline of the rocket now. Yay, we all love it. So, start off with just 2 normal half blocks going up. Do them on all 4 of the normal sides. And this will be the same shape. So make sure, yet again, you're building this within your current building area with this ship. Otherwise, it's not going to look right, not going to turn out well. And I'm actually going to start, you want both of these on both layers, but up, down. And then we're going to do something different on the upper levels. So, on the upper levels, we're going to do just the upper levels. So, now we're going to go up. And I'm not sure quite why we're doing this when we have nothing to connect to it. But you do that. And make sure you're using what they're called, the full half wedges instead of the half wedge up. Or right now you want to be doing that. And you're only doing the top level. The bottom level is going to be different, as you need some more room for the bottom. There we go. And then finally, last but not least, the final side. So I'm not sure if I'm doing that right. I don't know. This is what I built, so right now I don't think anything's connecting, but there will be some stuff I can do to fix that. So I guess you will happen to add the trail if you don't, even if you don't want to. Sorry, I thought I meant you didn't have to, but I guess you do. Now grab those half wedge ups and just place them around right below all the blocks we just added. Oops. There we go. And there we go. Now grab another quarter wedge and just add the quarter wedge down. So now you should have this. Showcases the bottom, holding most of the engines in. And yet again, you're going to grab some more stuff. You're going to grab wedges. Just normal wedges. The favorite. Now, we're going to add trails. And these trails are on a quite specific setting. And the reason for that setting is if it wasn't on the setting, it would not work correctly. I know. It can't do that. It's supposed to work correctly. So that's why we need to keep them on these settings. All of them will, have the same setting, and there's going to be a few, so bear with me as we add them here. So here's the settings. Those are all the settings you're going to need for this rocket. So just make sure you copy that, and then go into the trails, and then grab it. So boom, and then I'm not sure, so add these three, not sure how these sides go. Yeah, you go in, but the sides are the same. Okay, so place 4 on these like this, and then place like that, and then like that, then like that, then like that. So there's all the, um, whatever you call these. We've had enough of these. We don't need these. And then you're going to grab coloring. So the first color is purple. We don't use this one too much. So it's this shade of purple. I recommend you grab the colors I'm using, or you can find your own, but you're going to use this color. So 206, 101, and then 554. Place it down. Place. And you're going to color that, not the gray part. You're going to color the actual part, and you're only going to color the middle of each of those, or whatever. So then you're going to go in, and then this is where you're grabbing the color that we're using for most of this build. Or not for most of this build, but for most of the, colors things, or whatever. And it is orange. Specifically a really light colored orange. So go in and then color all these again, that orange-ish color. So all the rest of them that aren't painted purple will be painted this color. And yet again, those settings, I cannot tell you this enough. It has to be those settings. Otherwise the trail will either be too long, too short, it won't look right for the rocket. So you need to have those settings. And we can run a quick test, so you don't need it. You can add the chair pretty much wherever you want. So I'm just going to add it right there. What do you mean, no? Oh, I already have a chair. Just test it real quick. It should all hold together, other than those 3 engines right there in the middle. So there you go. It's holding together pretty well. Now, no one really pays attention when you're down there what color the inside of the engines are, so it doesn't really matter. But now we are going to start coloring the metal of the rocket. So grab metal, and if you did the first tutorial, which I'm hoping you did, because I don't want to, I mean, I would assume you wouldn't just make the top and then not make the bottom. I would assume you would make both. I mean, you want the top and the bottom to look nice. Maybe not. Maybe you're different. Maybe you like to make just the top half of a rocket, you know? Works just as well. I mean, it doesn't look as nice, but it worked, okay? You could do whatever you want to do, but then you're going to paint the ring right above that ice. Oh, geez, what is this? Paint that ring ice. Now we can continue building. So this is when we're going to have quite a few different settings. So first we're going to try to get all of these engines in a spot and hold. So I guess we're going to do that. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. And then the level. Okay, so that level is going to be that, and then you're going to add that block there. Okay. Here, we'll see. We'll see. We got this, guys. We're learning, okay? So now grab a half block beam, and then go up on all these corners. Very nice. Now we are going to go with the top half, actually. So just grab a half wedge down, and we're going to start on the top, and we're not going to go all the way down. So just fill out that whole top ring, but this time you're also going to be using wedges. These wedges right here. So assuming you watched the first tutorial, you'd get a lot of what I'm doing right now, as we did a lot of this in the previous tutorial. Grab this then. The half wedge, or not half wedge, full half wedge. Same thing, not really. Grab the full half wedge and then place all the full half wedges. And then place yet again some of the wedges in between those full half wedges. And then last but not least, the quarter wedges. And that's what keeping that shape together. So there you go. There's kind of the main area of the body. That's kind of like most where everything is going to be. We're going to keep it mainly open for now, as we need to be able to see what's going on. So we are going to start making the system, and then we'll close the gaps. So I'm just going to grab some settings here. The same. They're all towards the middle, and then out in those directions. Although this one's different. Wonder why. Maybe I can get rid of that. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to be there. There we go. Okay. So now grab half blocks. With those half blocks, you're going to place them like this, specifically on those 4 engines that aren't connected to anything yet. Then grab compression blocks with these specific settings, so negative 0.25 instead of negative 0.5, and then you're going to place them like this. Finally, you're going to grab some more half wedges and place them on those compression like this. And yes, if you didn't watch the first one, this is some pretty complex tutorials. You need to know how to build some of this complex systems. And then to top it all off, you're going to grab more compression blocks with those same settings you used on the other ones. And I think we're going to attach them like that. Yeah, so, and then attach them like this. Boom, boom. There you go. There you go. Now, on those compression blocks, that's when we're going to place our full half wedges like that. Or how they should be when we were to go down. So, if you were to continue this downward, this is when we're going to add that full half wash block. Because this is the way, like, this would look. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But it's interesting. But after you get that, now I think, that's a big I think. Most of our work is done in this lower half, and then we just have the upper half of the canister to make for the engine. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, sure. Sure. Wait. Let me Google what it looks like. I think this is an Omni droid that he's making. Yay, another stream. Is this the booster? It is! But anyway, so Omni Droid V8. Oh wait, that's actually really cool. Yo! So cool! Oh dear, I'm getting a bunch of people to join my server. Anyways, now top off the canister. So we're just going to grab half wedge downs, and now we're going to continue building the rest of this section. Yeah. Nice. Oh, not wall. So, okay. Anyway, so I'm trying to get this tutorial done quick, because I have other things to do in the future. So, not other things to do, but I am working on some other builds in this game. One of them is actually really cool. I think you guys should do this with your own builds. So I got this idea from someone I met in this game, and I thought it was really cool. I asked him if I could do it. see if I was allowed to use his idea. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just stealing his idea. The idea was you create kind of like a museum full of miniature of your full-scale builds. But yeah, it's kind of like a museum full of your miniature builds in the game. And I thought that was awesome idea. So I asked him if I could use it, and he said yeah, so I'm working on that. It's actually pretty cool. You make miniature of your full-scale builds, and then you show them off to people that might want to come into your museum, or just a showcase of them. If they want to, they can look at them. I don't know, it's really cool. So I tried to do that. So right now it's turning off pretty well. I have my Saturn V in there. It's my space rocket museum. But I got my Saturn V in there, my Starship, my Falcon 9. I need to add my space shuttle, and my Mercury Redstone's also in there. But now we're just gonna color the rest of this how it should be colored, or not color the rest, sorry. Paint the rest of the material, which is ice. It's ice, 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 and only ice. It's pretty much just ice. The whole build's ice. Who cares? It's ice. Ice looks cool. It's slippery. Less weight, I think. Not heavy. Fast. I'm not sure what ice does, but we paint it ice because that's the color of, or that's like kind of like frost. Jeez. Holy cow. I'm not even doing a stream, and I have how many people in my server? I mean, when I was doing my stream for this, I had a lot. But it's like I'm not even doing one this time, and I have a lot. Okay, well, it does not matter. As now we're doing some more work. Okay. Nice, bro. That's actually so good. Oops, sorry. No way! Yo! No way! No way! Awesome! Yo, that's insane! No, how did he do that? No way, it's my logo! Nice! Best thing ever. No, that's awesome! What? How did he build that? It just pops up. Yo, I can make that part here, right? Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Here you go. Ready? Ready? Hey. No, wait, that could actually work pretty well. Yo, that's awesome! In plane crazy too. That is so cool. Nice. Nice. Anyways, okay, we gotta get back to our build, guys. But anyways, away from that amazingness, we are back to our build. Now this is when you're going to grab those engines, and you're going to use the controls I originally put, which is right shift and right control. Now extend that out to there, and then place some like that. Boom, boom, boom. Did I ever show you this? I don't think so. Very cool. That's so cool. There's so many cool builds in here. Oh, this guy's plane is beyond cool. Oh, man, that is such a cool build he built. I guarantee. I've flown in it. I have flown in that plane. That is so cool. Okay, so now we gotta get back to the boring stuff. The actual, build, so. Sadly, we actually have to build. I know, we'll probably just want to keep looking at my cool viewers' builds and all that, but no. We need to build. Now, I'm not positive, but I'm very confused. I don't know quite where the I don't know where the um anchor block is on this. I have no clue. Wait, maybe I deleted it on accident. Here, let's see. No, bro. Okay, wait. Oh, it's one of the blocks that's inside of that floor. Okay. There we go. I'm better now. Okay, so yeah, but anyways, once you've formed a shape quite like this, go up a block like that. Then you guys have done this before. Grab just some normal, average, everyday compression blocks and place them like that, as they will compress it inward. Gonna want that. Now, holy cow. Oh, pushes it down. Okay, so 5. Okay. And then we have some more stuff to add to the engines. So then grab more compression blocks. Make sure they're pushing one block, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There you go. So make a stack of 5 and alternate the first 2 or 4, and then the top one you flip it over and then do that. Okay, so before we get too wild, we are gonna also grab the controls of the trail again. And we gotta place more trails. I know, it's annoying. It's annoying, but it looks really good, so it's not very annoying after it turns out well. But then you're gonna grab that pink color again. That pink color you used, and you're gonna use that color for these trails on the inside. But in case you haven't gotten it yet, this is my rocket's 3 main center engines. That's pulling. Wait, that's kind of weird. Okay, so I'll get that. Yeah, okay. So block, and then 2, I guess, and then another block. Okay. So then on top of this, you place a block, and then if you were ahead of where I was, you place another one, but with these settings, and then the second one you're going to place with these settings. Like that. And then place this block. And then once you go up, you're just going to go 2. So, 1, 2, there we go. Okay. So I think this should be correct. Now you're going to add another few of these. We're just trying to get to the height where they connect to each other. Go 3, I guess. So wait, here, we'll just get to the height that the main tower's at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after you've already added that first one, you're gonna add 7 more on top of that. Or no, 5 more. 4, 5. So you'll notice now you have 5 more additioning onto these poles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the height of the whole build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or not the whole build. Well, this is going to be the height of the first section of the build. And this is when we can actually start testing to see what our engine layout in the build is looking. So what I mean by that is you can see, do the engines all align correctly on that first stage that we've created? Right now now it's deciding to tell me no. Okay. It's not deciding to tell me no. It's literally just not telling me anything. It's just saying, I'm not gonna load. Okay, there we go. Once it loads, it'll tell you. Now you gotta try to tip it over. But you gotta make sure they all align just like this. That's perfect. So on the inside, it'll look kind of like this. Probably a little interesting to you guys, but it looks quite perfect for the engine layout. So there's not quite enough engines as the real one. And when you increase the engine speed, should fly pretty fast when you don't have a bunch of other things attached to it. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. That worked pretty well. What in the world? There's so many people doing things. It's so hard to keep track of all of them. Okay, Sniffy. Where, come on, man, come on, man. No way. Yeah. Oh, yo, that's sick. Nice. I'm so bad at making robots. Canada. Yeah, this is actually really fun. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I keep checking chat. What am I doing? I keep thinking chat is where I'm supposed to go. No, I am supposed to go over here. What are we doing, guys? What am I doing? Okay, so anyways. Oh, dear. You guys aren't gonna like what I'm about to say next. Yeah, you guys are really, really gonna hate what I say next. Get ready for it, guys. Come on. Prep. Okay. You ready? You ready? You ready? Okay, I'm assuming you are. Now we gotta fill in all these gaps. Mhm. Yep, you heard me. So the booster is a lot taller. So that's where a lot of our work is going into. And you'll notice it's actually very simple in the next few sections. Literally the next few sections are just filling in these gaps. There is no other work required. It's just filling in the gaps. And one thing got deleted, I guess, right here. But it's just filling the whole thing in. I know, it's crazy. So, anyway, it's not really that crazy. So the next area we get to actually will be a little bit confusing, as we have to do all of that, or whatever you're looking at. And then after that, it'll be pretty simple until you get to the grid fins. The grid fins are pretty simple. They're actually not too bad. I don't think any struggles will be happening, considering if you guys were able to make it through the first tutorial on how to build the ship, you will be perfectly fine on making the booster. Because the ship, in my opinion, was more difficult than the booster. Maybe not, maybe not. But to me it was. It was the first thing I built on the whole rocket. I always build the ship first. I don't know, whenever I make a starship. And it was really complicated as I needed to figure out a new system compared to my old system on how to get those flaps to move. And if you saw the original Starship Showcase video, not the newer one, the original one, you'll notice it looks a lot different near the nose area, and the whole flaps area looks different just in general. And that is because the original flaps where there was a hole cut out within the ship that was like made the flaps move. Like there was a hole cut out, and then the flaps were just like rubbing up right against it. And I don't know why, I mean, I was smart enough at that time to think, why didn't I just extend the fins out, round the edges of the fins, and then the fins work fine? Like, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but that's what I did on the second variation. And the nose, you'll notice, looks different. And that's because I did a little bit more thinking on the second variation, where they came out, but I folded them in at the right angle they were supposed to be angled in. So that was a little bit different. But yeah, if you're still over here watching the booster, watch what I'm doing. I am literally just grabbing all the blocks we used on the original layers, and I'm just making that, but like really tall. So we're actually pretty far into this, guys. We're doing pretty well. If you're still here, you're doing pretty well. Uh-huh. And then in a second, if you guys don't have what I have on my computer, or not on my computer, what I have in this game, which is, in case you're wondering, it is drag select. If you don't have drag select, it it's gonna be a little bit of highlighting to do. I mean, you only gotta do this entire top area. And that's another reason, be careful with what you do when you use the drag select. I know drag select can be pretty fun to use, and you can just use it, but you gotta make sure you're not highlighting anything you don't want to be highlighting when you're selecting anything. Just be careful with what you're highlighting. There we go. But anyways, we are finally done building up the height of this. And as you're starting to see, this thing is starting to take kind of a bit of shape. And right now it looks really short and stubby, because it kind of is. It's not completed. Go ahead and drag select all that. Boom. Make the whole thing nice. If you don't have drag select, don't use drag select, just use normal. But I really do recommend drag select. It will save you. It will save you. Please find it. Now you don't need to change these blocks back from basic, but it's gonna kind of just annoy me if I don't. So I'm just returning them back to normal blocks. There you go. Okay, there we go. Whole thing's ice. So, it is time. As we all expected, now we're going to create a flat layer. A flat layer right one block above all the compression blocks we just did. Yay! And this is where we're going to add, of course, the anchor block. Now, the anchor block can be any button you really want it to be. For me, I use T for pretty much everything. So I'm going to use T to anchor everything down. Be prepared, guys. Now this is where we're going to be having our thrust for the entire rocket. I would grab just normal jet engines, and you can use anything you want to lift. Just make sure it's separate thrust from the ship that you did, if you're doing the ship, which, if you didn't do the ship, why are you here? Maybe you like to watch the videos, though. I get that. If you want to watch the videos just because you like watching me, that's okay. But I would assume if you're on part 2, you'd like to watch the building of how to build the booster. I would very much assume that. I don't think you would want to just build the booster. But we from all the talking about if you built this. Just 2 layers of the whole thing covering as much room as you can in one flat area. So you're going to go one flat area and cover up as much as you can, and then you're going to go up one more block, cover up as much as you can. And now you're ready to see some speed. One question I do have for the original design. Where in the world, like, I actually don't know where I put the gyros. Like, there's a gyro somewhere in here, but I really don't know where. Like, come on, game. Did I put a gyro up top of the rocket? No, wait, I might have put a gyro up here. What the heck? No, there's a gyro on here. I really don't know where, guys. Maybe there's not a gyro. There's going to be a gyro. Where is that? Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. So, you're gonna have to go in there a little bit. So, go in here, find the very center of all your engines, and then delete 2 down. Grab a gyro. Recommended settings are literally just get rid of most of them. You're not really going to be turning on this gyro, and I don't want you to accidentally turn it off by pressing something you don't want to press. So just do that, and then place just a rocket engine flat around here. There you go. Make sure that rocket engine is also on the same settings as all the other rocket engines, because if not, you're going to be in trouble. Anyways, time to test. So what I like to do to test is I like to do the W and S test. So I use W and S, and if any of these engines increase throttle, then I messed up something. But now, the shift and control. Here we go. 3, 2, and just hold it. Boom. There you go. And then plus and minus to get all those outer engines on. Which is quite fun, because you can have only the outer engines on, and it, like, wait a second. Maybe the outer engines are actually right now. Right now, I think the outer engine, like, just the engines on the bottom in general, are enough to take it off the ground. Yeah, it's enough to take it off the ground. But on the final design, it's not, so. Yay. Anyways. Continue the build. Next few parts of the build will consist of coming off of this wall, going 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 and 3 only. And then it's required you use a wedge. Yep. Okay. Now this is when it looks a little weird. Starts becoming very, very interesting. So, you're next going to come off 2 right here. And then 1 right there. And then you're going to go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. Because you're going to connect 2 separate systems. And they don't touch each other. It's very confusing, I know. Now you're going to have to grab half blocks. And place them in kind of like an L shape. You see that? Boom. Kind of like an L. Or, no, not like that. Not right there. Kind of like an L. You see like that? So do that. Now we're going to grab the settings, and we're going to do one side first. So grab these settings for this. And all of them have different settings. So, of course, a lot of back and forth. That first one's going to be these settings. The second one is going to be the settings I just showed you. These settings. The third one is going to be these settings. And these settings will go right down here. The third one is these settings. Right there. fourth one will be those same exact settings. Then the next few will be these settings. So then these two will be these settings. Or no, these settings. The two after that will be these settings. The two after that, or the four after that, were going to be these settings that I just showed you. So these settings. So you're going to do that, that, and then that, and then that. Now, the rest of these, I believe, are just the same setting. So, Control C these, you're going to need that. Gonna need these settings for the compression blocks. So get ready to use quite a few of these. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 6 up, 1 out. Okay. So then you're gonna just, it doesn't matter the orientation, you just gotta go 2 out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So 1, 2 out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. The orientation does not matter at all. And now, and now, and now only as it must be now. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay, so then on that block that they connected to, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. Yeah. To the side of that, you're gonna go over here, and then you're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And you're pretty much doing the same thing over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. You're doing pretty good right now, everyone. Impressed. You're gonna go with that wedge right there. So a triangle wedge block 1 by 2. Place that right there. And then a triangle wedge 1 by 2 on top of that. And then wedges, 1 by 2 wedges on the side of those. And then the rest of these, it could be either solid blocks or it doesn't have to be. You just gotta go down until you reach that point right there. So, now I would go in with metal. I would go in with metal and then paint all of this metal. All of it metal. I know, all of it is a lot. You're gonna need it to be, though. It needs to be metal. It needs to be... Okay, so now anyways. The dramatic talk has been gone. You're gonna notice when it's perfect. So to make sure everything's folding in correctly, in the right way, you'll check. Okay. I did something interesting on that top one. Okay. Here. No, we gotta go in and fix one thing real quick. On that top, right here. So, you gotta go kind of in here. So you'll go 1, 2, and then right here. That you want that one right there. So 3 from the top. So 1, 2, 3 down, and then on the fourth one, you're gonna make that middle. So 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one, make it middle. And now it should look correct. And we'll see right now. Boom, there you go. Perfect. So what you'll notice to make sure that it's right, the main thing is that is kind of, it goes down and then flat and then up, and then you'll see that wedge sticking out that goes up, just like kind of a rectangle. You want to make sure that goes down, side, and then up, though. That's the main thing you're looking for. So it's kind of like one block, and most of it is on the inside. But it is quite required that you have the outside, so it looks good. But now you gotta do that on all the sides. And all of them. And you gotta do the bottom. So on the bottom, we're already gonna do these. You're gonna go up one, and you're just gonna leave a one block gap, one ice, and then this one will go, remember, 1, 2, 3, and then on the fourth one right there. So 1, 2, 3, and then on the fourth one right there. Now we gotta work on the other side. So even though we're not done with that full side yet, we are gonna start doing that other side. So yet again, you gotta step back into the hole. Everyone pretty much has a different setting. So here's the first setting. It goes right there. The first settings are these. And then here's the second setting. There's a lot of getting it to work. That goes right there. Second block right there. The third one is this setting, and then I'm pretty sure the fourth one is also the same. So then the third and fourth blocks that you're going to be placing are these settings right here. You're going to place it like this and this. And you'll see that they're kind of maneuvering around each other without hitting each other at all. Two separate systems here. So there's a few different settings. Okay, and then these two over here are going to be these settings. So it's pretty similar to the settings on the other side, if you've started to notice that. So these two like this are these settings. As you'll notice now, they're around the same height actually. And it's pretty much the same exact thing. Yeah, as you'd expect, these next few are these settings. And I'm not even going to follow the rule anymore. I'm not going to go over there and check. Positive it's these settings. So grab these settings for the next few. Boom. And then boom, boom. And then boom, boom. These are when I know they're the same. So grab those. Grab this. Really does not matter the orientation to go. I would go 1, 2 out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. To make sure you're on the same level as that metal block right there. So 2 out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Same height as the metal block. Now back to building. So place a block and a block. And if you want to make this block easier, we're going to go with a block and a block. So you're going to no, I'm joking. Place a block, and then another block, and then I would grab the 1x2 wedges to make this just a tiny bit easier. Then get the triangle wedges and attach them like that. Then get more of these wedges, place them like that. And then grab a triangle wedge block and place it right under that triangle wedge. And then you're going to go down into the other height. So from this triangle wedge, you're going to go 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to bring all the other ones down. But anyways, here is, yeah, just color it metal. There you go. Should work. Just do a test just in case. It should do the same thing the other side did and be very similar. Pretty, yeah, right there. So they're all the same now. So they kind of look like fins. But they are not. I can assure you that. So now you're going to go 2 and then 4. So grab 2 7s and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. And then do that on all of them. So it's a pretty big, whatever you call these. I don't know what they're actually used for on the rocket. I know a lot of things, but I don't know this. And then grab a 1x4 and then do the same thing, but only one. Wow, what this is coming together pretty well. And then from that 1x4, you're only going to go one. There you go. Yeah. So you'll go two on these specifically, just to speed that up, but one right there. So that, and then just add two more on those ones specifically. There we go. Grab just a normal triangle wedge block, place it like that, 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 that. Now grab a normal triangle wedge, place it like that, 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 that. Now grab just a normal wedge, and place it like these. There you go. Paint it all metal, and then you're done with these things. I don't know what they are, okay? But they're there. They look really nice. They work and look good. So, yet again, these are also just for looks in my build, but in real life, they are not for looks. In real life, they actually do something. In my build, they don't. But without these, my build would not look like Starship. I'm being completely honest. Without these, it would not look like the Starship booster. It is so weird, because I built it without it, and it looks like just a random, really tall, really just stupid looking booster. It really pulls it together, but now, should be able to fold it in. Should look really nice. Boom. There you go. And on the bottom, it should be around the same as the top, just not as much of an angle when going up. It'll go up, flat, down. So it'll look different. But there you go. And now you can start to imagine that the engines that are just designed for looks will start to not be enough to lift it up. You have to start using assistance from the actual rocket engines. Oh, and yeah, if you want to turn that trail off, quite recommended. It will be the keypad plus. Some people might not have a keypad, so just find a different key on the keyboard. You can see it's coming down right there, and it slows down its velocity right before hitting the ground. Okay. Now that we've gotten the hardest parts of this actual build out of the way, we can step on into the easier realm of things. So break this block right here, this long beam, place that there, and then place two right there. Recommended that you start moving your booster back a little bit as it's starting to take up a lot of room. So now it's at the same thing as that or whatever. Then add a camera. I do dislike this part of it. I know it's weird, I don't like it. Place that. And then here's the settings you're going to want to use for these ones. They are a little different than usual as you're not automatically folding it together. You're actually going to be using some different settings to fold it together. Now, you got to make sure that the angle is correct. So the angle might be wrong, but you do want to make sure the rest of the settings are the same. So it should fold up. So if it's not folding up on that little dial thing, just make sure it folds up by reversing the command. There you go. Now you can press and put that there. But now, lemon. Oh, lemon. But anyways, do that. Add that there. 1, 2 down there. Make sure you're continuing to paint everything on this main area of the booster with that ice. Now just make that outer ring of the booster. So, That right there. Now, of course, grab your favorite wedges. And then grab this. Grab another wedge. Grab quarter wedges. And then grab full wedges. And then grab half wedge downs. And assuming you're doing the same on all of these, I mean, I would assume you would know this by now. You could also just look and you can pause if you need to. Do whatever. But I would do that. Then grab that beam 4 and do that. So it'll bring it down to that height. And then you're actually getting really close to the end. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, as I recommend, I also forgot to remind you guys again, you do need +5 height. Assuming you did the booster, you should have +5 height. Also, this requires a snow pipe right here. If it doesn't require a snow pipe, you can use smoke pipe or whatever. But I'm using a snow pipe. Remember +5 height. Place that snow pipe right there. If you don't have +5 height, you're not going to have enough height to actually build. You need height to build. You need it. Yeah, you need it. So, make sure that +5 height is in your inventory. So once you've created that, smoke pipe, right as I almost forgot it, you're just going to continue the rest of this curve with these. So just make sure that everything's attached to each other. Make sure it's all looking good. Like this. And then place that there. And then place this there. And place this here. And then place this. And then place these. And then place this. There we go. There we go. Let's go. We're doing good, guys. We're doing good. Okay. Now is the time. The time to do everything. Sorry about that. Anyways, continuing our journey. Grab your half wedge down. And I guess in the meantime, do that one. Okay, so this is what it looks like I did. So for this, I just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I only went 4, sorry. With normal ones. And then I did something different here. So then away from that, then I did this. I did 4. With this one, I'm only going to do 3. 1, 2, 3. That one's different. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't place random blocks like I do. Wrong spots, don't do it. Now you can go down one more normal with a normal block. And then this over here, you gotta come all the way down with normal blocks. And then one right above, you're gonna have to delete that. There you go. Now it's time we do something I've done a lot by now, and that's create it again. Oh, jeez, I do this so much. I never stop building. No. But anyway, so now, oh, rocket. But now we're gonna do something nobody likes doing. Grab your half wedge down and fill in this whole row. I don't think so. Fill in the whole row. Do it again on this side. And then on the other side. Oh. And then do it on this side. Even though there's this gap, just breathe through the gap like it's not there. And do it on this side. It is a lot of work. I know, you gotta be prepared for that. You're building something of this size and this power. You gotta expect it to take some time. You can't expect it to just teleport in front of you and work. You gotta build it. That's the whole point of a tutorial, to teach you how to build something. Teach you how to improve, how you can do things with this. I mean, you can change the color if you feel like it. You can learn how these systems work. That is one thing I love to do. I love to dive in there, see how this system works, see why it works, and then I like to try to recreate it. That is always really fun to try. Recreate it without watching the video, of course. That's the point of a tutorial, so just while you're building this, just think about that. You could always go back in and, learn how to create it. Learn how to create something like this, with systems very similar to it. Like, simple systems such as grid fins moving. Maybe you didn't know how to do that. I mean, some people don't know how to do that. So you could go in and use the same grid fins ideas and put it in your own build somewhere. And if you do, why don't you tell me next time I do a stream? Or next time I do anything for that matter. And just send me a connection request and I'll accept it, and I guess you can show me it in the game. Show me how awesome your builds are, and if you make this for that matter, you can do the same thing. Show me it in game once it's built, because I love seeing other people build my stuff. I know of one guy who built my stuff. He showed me it, and I thought it was awesome. Although, it was somebody I talked to a good amount of the time. He was actually in this stream. Okay. Yo, it's all walking mech. Yo. So cool. Okay, well, that must be a tutorial. I don't really care. I like tutorials. I'm making one right now. Now, you know the drill. Time for quarter wedges. Yeah, not even quarter wedges get a day off. Everyone's gotta pay as much as they should. Jeez. More work. I know it's so bad. We have so much work. Okay, and then this final one, and then I'm gonna be right back. Gotta go for a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. So, anyways, now you're gonna paint this whole big tube out of ice. Boom, right there. There we go. All ice. Now, you're gonna get some metal, and you're gonna paint metal right there. So once you get to the end of that 4 beam, you're gonna place metal. Metal ring. Metal circular ring. All the way around. Okay. Now this is where it's a little different. Now you're gonna place camera, and then another camera. Grab these settings for an angle lock. And then place a angle lock. 2 of them. Like this. Make sure they're folding downward. There you go. If not, then it would be incorrect. Now you're gonna get 2 more cameras and place them. There we go. And then grab a 4 thing right there, and then a normal one right there. So it's turning out well, guys. So you can see we're pretty far into the build. If you would like to test to see how it looks, not quite tall enough. Oh, thank you, Animation Fun. It is going to be quite tall, so just press T and then N. Make sure it's on the ground. There you go. You can see it already looks pretty good. It's just not quite done. Most people prefer their work to be done, so we're going to get that done pretty quickly, actually. So we just have the grid fins, and then we have the rest. So you will notice, it's after you're like done with most of the main stuff, it's not too much more work left. This part of the tutorial is kind of just a really tall cylinder. So it's not too much work here. And then 2 half blocks. And now you gotta create this. So to create this, we actually are gonna start on the top of the circle. So right up here, do this, half wedge down. And we're not gonna go straight to a wedge. We're actually gonna go to a full half wedge. It's different, it's different. Now we're gonna do that, and then that. I know it's different than what we're used to, but it's because we're gonna have a lot of the same kind of repetitive sequence of um, little block out areas. It's interesting. Well, you'll see soon. There's gonna be 2. So it'll be 2 areas connecting pretty much everything of this together. Okay. Now, half wedge down, down, half wedge, ah, half wedge down, like that. Then grab this. It's different. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Block, block. You see, it's a little different. And then grab another half wedge down. With this half wedge down, you should be able to get a nice little circle going here. Nice little circle, you see? No, not what I'm talking about. Sorry, wrong thing. Right here. There you go. Add those. And now we can add the circle. So you get the plate block and place plate there, plate right there. Grab the color. Now add these colors right there, color right there, color right there, colors all around the coloring. And then a few more half blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. There you go. There you go. We're starting to look very, 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 very good. Half wedge down. Half wedge down. Oh, wait, no, don't add this. Sorry. Then you're going to add a full wedge. Like that. And then like that. Like that. Then add quarter wedge. Then add yet again another half wedge down. We love half wedge downs, don't we? I mean, that's all we do apparently. And then I think we did 2 down and then that. Maybe I'm wrong. 1, 2, boom. Yeah. There you go. Okay, it's time, everybody. Everyone's favorite time of the year. Not part of the year, I'll be honest, but it is everyone's favorite. Here, we are gonna delete that so you can get a nice look at what we're doing here. Okay. And now you're gonna make a flat section. Make sure it doesn't stick out anywhere. Just make a nice little flat section over here. Oh yeah, and then half wedge down. 1 by 3. Right there, 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 and there. Half wedge down 1 by 2. And all these corners. And then that's enough. Now you're just gonna add half blocks. And only those outer 4, not any of the other ones. As we're gonna save the others for different things. Now you're gonna add the movement for the booster. But first we need to fill it in. So grab half wedge downs. And then the next few things we're going to do for painting the materials, it will be manual painting. Boom. 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 And after adding this will be the final height of the booster. So everybody get excited because you're pretty much done with this build. You gotta do this, the grid fins, which shouldn't be too difficult. And then my least favorite part, if I'm being honest, I really dislike doing the hot stage ring, It's really weird how it's designed, too. Which is the reason I don't really like it. It looks good. I just don't like building it. It's quite annoying. Because it's interesting. Each part is different. So it's like, now you gotta do that. So, that's why I don't like doing that. Hot stage ring. Luckily, I don't gotta do the hot stage ring right now. That's later on. So right now we're good. Right now we're good. We good, everybody. Woo! Okay, anyways. Quarter wedge. Finally. Finally. Done with building the height and the most annoying part of the rocket. The booster. The booster was probably one of the most annoying parts to build, as it is a lot of repetitive just of this. You just make a bunch of the same thing over and over again. It's so annoying. But we're done with it, pretty much. With the annoying part. We're not done with the rocket. Now, add the middle. Okay, there we go. So just keep adding all the metal other than the cylinders that we added, the plate cylinder. So all of this is metal. All of these open areas that you can see, everything is metal. There we go. Yeah, make sure you're painting this all with the amazing metallic metal color. I really do like how the metal looks. It makes everything look really nice. It makes things kind of like, it makes it feel more realistic. And then add jet engines like these, and then we'll add the settings soon, guys. Okay, now we add the settings. Those are the settings for the ones facing this direction. The ones in the opposite direction will be opposite, so swap those. So now the ones on the other side are those controls. Now we'll do left and right. So for this side over here, the side that I'm highlighting is this. And for the other side, it's the same thing. Just swap the controls again. There you go. And we are gonna test, guys. We need to make sure that it works correctly. There you go. There's the booster. And when you start increasing throttle, one will go up faster than the other, but make sure A, D, left, or forward and backward. So make sure all those work. And I think that's actually it. Oh, and then you have to add these. So these are magnets. These are pretty important. So these are what connect the ship and the booster and everything together. They're conical, I guess. Can be quite annoying. So here's the settings for these magnets. They need to be pretty exact. And then grab the magnet. And specifically these right here have to be removed and they will be replaced with magnets. Go ahead and grab this color, I guess, and use that to color the magnets. And then grab a wedge down at 1x2 instead. Paint it metallic. There we go. There is a lot of the hard work done. Finally, time. Sad to go. Here are the final parts of this build. So in the end, this will be the final goodbye in the build. So use these settings on these compression blocks. Up, down, side, up, 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 up. So it's gonna go that tall. In between, you're gonna use a fin, and everything should work correctly. So this one's a little interesting. So 0, 0, 1, 1. So now I grab the compression blocks. Right here, we're gonna go 1, 1. And then the one on top, we're gonna also go 1, 1. Make sure you're using these settings. And then this to push it down, so you grab these settings. Do that, and then, oops, don't place it like that. Place it like this, and then that. And then up here, you're gonna do the same thing, so this and that. And that's basically lining up the fins to where they need to be. So now, grab this with these settings. And now you're gonna go this, 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 this. Same thing up here, this, this. It is very similar on the top and the bottom. And now grab these settings right here. And that will push it in. So place that there, that there, that there, that there. Time to get angle locking. So here's the settings for most of the angle lock. So grab these, and you're just going to place all of them, but then you'll get them to make sure they're facing the right way in the future. Flip around and do that. Make sure all of them have that setting. And now you're going to want to, I'm going to check, so yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so the setting for all these. This one, you want the angle to be facing outward. So this one's going to be -65. Boom. This one's also going to be -65. And that one doesn't need to be swept. Now grab the metal coloring. Metal color that, the main white part, and then you're going to go in with the white coloring and you're going to actually color the other components of it with that color to make sure it's all one color. There we go. Now here's another thing that's kind of important. Here's when you're going to grab the controls. So use these controls specifically. And you're going to place it like this, 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 and this on the angle locks. There we go. That's correct. And now grab these controls, right, or these, whatever you call it. Coloring, color it that. Now we're gonna add the awesome, amazing, making it look like the Starship booster grid fins. So grab the plate so far. So you're gonna grab a plate, half plate, and pretty much just follow what I do. And you're gonna be replicating this for 4 of them. So get comfortable with building this. Grab the plate, the half plate, and now you're gonna place the full plate. Now you're gonna grab more half plates. There you go. Make sure you're grabbing that half plate again. Open it up. Grab the normal plate again. And add that. Okay, now I'm getting asked more questions. Oops, not like that. Don't place it like that. All of this will be flat. Don't worry. Place these, place that. Almost done, guys. Don't worry. And then final half plate right there. How long has this tutorial been going? Oh, geez, almost 2 hours again. Yeah. I don't know what he's asking here. Anyways, add that. Now we add ladders. So, place them like this most of the time. So you're going to place them all like that. And then another 2 on top of there. And then on the bottom, rotate, flip upside down, and attach like that. Oh wait, no, don't do that, sorry. Oh, let's see. Okay. Continue adding. So keep placing them like this. It's starting to look nice, I know, you guys can tell, right? This was one of the easier ones that I made. So this is one of the easier tutorials. So some of the tutorial that I'm going to do in the future. Okay, soon. But then grab these settings specifically. Doesn't really matter too much, but this will be just a painting of your grid fins. So, drag select, you can do the grid fins drag selecting. It's kind of pointless to do it, as you could paint it most of the time pretty quickly anyways. Just a little quicker, I guess. Now, paint the final grid fin. There you go! And I would like to say you've technically finished the booster, but the issue, you guys, don't leave. You can't actually connect it to the ship yet. So, don't worry. I got you. Connecting to the ship. You're gonna need to add this thing. It's called hot stage ring. Sure, you guys know what it is. And it is to connect the top stage and the bottom stage. So, to do that, we're just gonna use that hot stage ring. So we're gonna start off by creating the outline of the ring again. And this time we are gonna use wedges. So, half wedge down, half wedge down. Oh yeah, we gotta go quick. Otherwise this tutorial's gonna be too long. And you guys probably already understand what pieces we're using right now. Oh, because we use these pieces so many times. Oh shoot, no, not do that. Don't do what I just did. But you are gonna do this. So right there, you're gonna add that. Okay? And that is so that it can perfectly slide into the booster. Otherwise, it's going to have some trouble fitting into the booster. So that's right now the connection point between the ship and the booster. And then add another one of these. And then add another one of these. So you will notice this one looks a little different. And it's specifically because of that very interesting shape that I made. You'll notice right here. So, yeah, it's kind of like it sticks down. We did this on the ship, although on the ship it was used for landing legs. This one is now used for literally just supporting the booster in the hot stage ring so that they have room to wiggle around a little bit, even though they're connected. But after you got all that done, you're very, very, very close to being done. I mean, you are surprisingly close to being done. So now, grab half wedge down, 1x3, boom, boom. Now, you're going up here for a specific reason. Some people might not know the reason, but if you do know the reason, shout out to you. Hmm. Okay, so this is interesting. So, do all that over here, and then on top of that, you're going to do wedge 2s. You're going to be going in like this, but you're going to add that half block right there, and you're going to add half blocks here, I guess. Well, technically this isn't a half block, so don't add that. But then add half blocks there. And with these, you're just gonna go with normal half wedge downs. And then you're gonna use plates over in these corners. Yeah, if you don't get it, I'm also a little confused. And then on the bottom, you're pretty much going to do what you just did on the top. So half wedge down. Like this. Kind of just creating a ring for everything to fit around. Now, what we can do, what we all need to do, and we all don't want to do, it is actually creating the hot stage ring. The framing around it and all that, it needs to be built. Yeah, so sad. Needs to be done. Anyways, you are gonna add a anchor block. I use Y. You can use whatever you want. It needs to be connectable. You're gonna add that anchor block right there. So now you're gonna add that there. So add two coming up from the corners, which is pretty obvious. And then two more over here. So there's what the outside view looks like. But inside it's a little different. So inside, specifically on these ones only, you're gonna go like that. Like this. But on these ones, you're gonna go like this. So it's a little wider. I know. Please don't ask me. I made it a while ago. I used to understand it. I do not anymore. And just follow my lead with the ladders. I am not quite sure what I was doing with these. So yeah, just follow my lead with the ladders. I'm probably going to delete them every once in a while to figure out where I'm at, where the issue is. So, bear with me. It's going to be a little bit, because I got to figure out how to do the ladder thing. Here we go. Alright. That should be all with the ladders. Now the height will increase one more. I know. So sorry, guys. It was required in this build. You knew when you were going to build this that it was going to be tall and it was going to be a lot of repetitive parts. So a lot of circles being built. And like I say to people, and I'm going to say to you guys, When people say, "Oh my gosh, you're so good at building stuff in this game. How did you get so good at the game?" I tell them, all I do is build complex, tall cylinders. Because in reality, that's a lot of what it is. As you guys are starting to see, because, well, of this, you're starting to see that it's kind of just true. It is a lot of really just tall, complex looking cylinders. I mean, there's not much really to it. It's kind of it. So, that's what I'll say to you if you say, "Oh my goodness, how'd you get so good at the game?" And I'll say that. Anyways, here's the settings for the next set of magnets you're going to use. Go ahead and grab those magnets. Make sure the red part is facing up. Grab, specifically, this color. And you're also going to use that color for that pin that you put in between all these motor locks. And you're going to put that right there, and you're also going to put it right there on that block right there. And then final part, boom, all that color. And then you gotta find this color, and then you're gonna paint all the ladders this color. So I'm actually gonna go back on what I said, and I'm gonna paint all of this white, and then I'm gonna go grab the color that I used down here, and I'm gonna use that color up here again. So boom, boom, boom. How come it's not painting? There we go. There we go. So now to set it up, here's the setup process. Oh wait, I did forget, I think, a smoke pipe somewhere. So yeah, snow pipe. I forgot one of those. So grab a snow pipe right there. Interesting spot. Snow pipe, smoke pipe, whatever you want to use that shoots out some sort of gas. Add that, and then grab a camera. This one is because you're going to need a camera in here, as when you're trying to see, you want to be able to attach to just a booster. So, yeah, you're welcome. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on number 6 up, it'll be good. And there you go. That should be it with this tutorial. So now I need to teach you how to operate it, because I'm assuming you don't know how to operate it. And in my next tutorial, it will be 2 more parts. The first part will be on Saturday. I will teach you how to create the full stack. So you'll be able to learn how to actually get them to stack onto each other, where to put them in order for me to start building the tower. So you'll do a little bit of the tower starting, and then you'll finish the tower in the next part of the tutorial. Don't you love when this game doesn't respond to you? Taking so long to load. Save your creation before you do anything. Okay, there we go. So now, let it load. And then as soon as it loads, let everything fall into place. Then number 1, you're going to press Y, and then you're going to click it pretty quick after too. So let it fall a little bit, little bit more, and then let it fall into the socket. And if it doesn't fit perfectly in and like bounce it back out, press T until you fall a little bit, and then press T again right as to stop it falling. Then press G to attach that hot stage ring to the rocket. Press T again, press so it can fall down, and then press T and then N. And so you can get it to actually stack. So once it's stacked, press T again. And now it is fully stacked. You can press 2, E, Q. And if you're already wanting to learn how to stack it to the ship or anything, the control would be you gotta get the ship to slide in and then press H. If assuming you're following. E and Q will wiggle those fins. Keypad plus will do the trail. WASD is to control. Plus and minus is to fire those big engines, or most of the engines. And then keypad multiply is to put on the smoke. Alright guys, well thank you for watching our second part of our Starship tutorial on how to build this ship. Yeah, right shift and control is to increase and slow down. Thank you for watching our second part of the tutorial on how to build the booster of our Starship Super Heavy. The next part of the tutorial will come out at a little bit later date. Sorry guys. It will be coming out around Saturday. I got stuff going on, so it'll come out around Saturday. I might do it a little earlier, maybe Thursday or Friday. Probably Saturday. But anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next part of the tutorial where we can continue our Starship Super Heavy build. Alright, bye guys. Righty, goodbye.